but they're both #1 ruckmen, so they're going to spend equal time through the middle of the ground. Just if one of the big ruckmen resting can take a catch in the forward 50.
Yeah, interesting that the top 3 players here that are in the midfield for Brisbane, isn't it? Christensen, Hanley and Beams starting this game in the middle, so they're going with their big guns in the middle. Centre bounce, Leuenberger gets the tapper underway at Adelaide versus Brisbane. Hanley, I think, played the second half in the midfield last week.
Yeah, and interesting to see the Crows start with a 7-man defence. So they have started with the one behind the ball, which is pretty interesting given who they're playing.
Well, they're obviously looking to create that run off half-back and get some overlap run.
Sloan and Hanley entangled there as the ball drifts out to Buick. Flicks the handball up. Cameron overran it. Rich gets a nice early touch using Zorko and then Beams, who's done as much as could be expected. And this man Christensen was the other big recruit over the off-season. His numbers have been okay, but more uncontested than contested last year, so he'll be looking to change that ratio a bit.
It has to be ball.
Yeah, it was given a long time, Hanley. Advantage paid. Rush kick by Dangerfield. Comes out okay.
But Jenkins one out.
Charlie Cameron heads in that direction. Clark there to defy him, which he does.
Well, it shows a lot of confidence in young Harris Andrews. Just come back into the side. So Andrews goes with Taylor Walker, and Jenkins has got Justin Clark.
And Harwood gets the job on Eddie Betts.
Taylor Walker's got a very good record against Brisbane. Kicked 6 here when the teams last met. That was a massive win in round 20 last year to the Crows in a high-scoring game.
Things went pretty much south after that, really.
Yeah.
But really important, as you said, got the experience for the Brisbane Lions in the middle of the ground. They're looking to go all out. So to get the quicker, smaller players involved, they have to win these contested possessions and clearances.
Nothing doing yet. Eddie Betts and Rory Sloan, but had plenty of company there. They're all fossicking around for the ball, and eventually it's the umpires. Last time these two, as we said, there was 43 scoring shots to 18 on that day as Adelaide won by 102 points. You heard the call ducked, and then the arm was nabbed.
Interestingly, we've seen Martin pushed up as a ruck rover, so Leuenberger has remained in the ruck, but Martin's pushed up from full forward, and so they've gone to 2 bigs in the middle of the ground.
Yeah, well, it's been done by a few teams, hasn't it now? Brown jabs it up into the 50. And the fist was strong from Beasley, and it's over and out.
The other thing, I haven't seen a lot of Brisbane this year, Lynchy, but interesting to see Jed Adcock playing as a high half-forward type.
Yeah, it is, and I would suggest that is for some defensive pressure in the forward half. I thought he was the obvious matchup for Eddie Betts, but they've gone with young Harwood. And there we just see Martin get involved. But, yeah, interesting to put Adcock half-forward.
It was an interesting kick from Martin, how he managed to get it onto the right boot and out of there. Paparone, not the bounce he was after. Taylor Walker paddled. Lynch. Lewis Taylor's been in pretty good form. And Rich also has got company.
And the other positional change from a Lions point of view is young Jordan Burke's up at full forward, where we've seen him in his few games over the last couple of weeks down at full back.
Leuenberger. Taylor through the head, back play on. Zorko was prepared to try and withstand the tackler. Scotty Thompson into the square. Nice little give, and they're away now. Paparone can use it, which he does. Beams. Here's Louis Taylor hesitating on the kick. Passed the responsibility over to Beams, and it's a good result. Adcock into the middle, good aggressive kick. Martin takes it and wants to dish it off, which he does. Christensen, they're built nicely through the middle, constructed a really meaningful attack. Zorko with that long bomb, and that's a good mark. The man you said moving forward, Jordan Burke.
Well, he lost his opponent up the ground a lot earlier than that in Hardigan, because he took off sprinting forward and he got about a 20 or 30 metre break. Now Brisbane didn't quite spot him early. We saw the short kick from Christensen middle of the ground, but then they were good enough once it got in the hands of Zorko to spot the move, and he hit that target forward. Really good kick.
For his first goal in AFL football in just his 4th game, Jordan Burke couldn't miss from there, and the Lions get the first.
Well, Justin Leppich has certainly thrown the magnets around. Adcock half forward, Jordan Burke. And here's the replay of this. Now, Stephen Martin gets possession there. He's got the Dangerfield matchup, so Dangerfield has to be really accountable for Martin because he can cover the ground. And Burke, as you said, James, got right out the back. And it only needed a fair kick to get to him. He took a good mark in the end and slotted that one through. Really good confidence builder for Burke and the team.
Don't like that as a coach, Jason. You make a move like that, the young man goes forward, he kicks a goal in the first 5 minutes.
Vindication straight away. You feel like a genius, but you just hope there's a follow-up.
Jacobs and Leuenberger. Jacobs giving Dangerfield the advantage, but it wasn't a huge one. He just thrust it backwards as it turned out. Robinson with the capture, and this is good play from the Lions early. Harwood taking it out wide, and the mark taken by Stephen Martin, who's everywhere at the moment. There's a funny old kick into the 50. He did nondescript for Robinson to handle. McStay there and Talia. That'll be a pivotal battle.
So off half-back on that occasion, Daniel Rich was the spare for the Lions. So from the Crows' point of view, I wouldn't give him too much space. Just see Scotty Thompson from that centre stoppage. He limped out, rolling the left ankle, it appears. So some concerns there.
Beams feeding it back for Aish, returning to the team. A bit of a squabble there at half forward. Over the line and out of bounds. James Aish in for his 7th game of the year. Broken jaw in round 9 against St Kilda. There's
very
Scotty
interesting
Thompson
there. Back in our day, it was compulsory to have the ankles strapped. Now, Scotty Thompson's got no strapping on ankles, so maybe a change of philosophy for the modern footballer.
I hope Dangerfield and Hanley play on each other for an extended period of time. It'll be a fascinating battle to watch. Two very different types of players.
Pierce Hanley is probably their most important player when he's up and running. He's only been back a couple of weeks. Beams inside 50. Another opportunity for Burke. Redden with a stand and deliver. Mighty start from the Lions.
Well, a fantastic start. The murmurings out of the Adelaide Crows camp this morning has been they were very anxious going into this game because they have seen the Lions play well. Just see this stoppage, and Redden starts with space. He was right of screen and moves from this contest. Good hands from Aish, and then Beams just slapped it onto the left slipper. But Redden just here, ready, available. Still no one near him. Executes beautifully, but some loose checking in a forward 50 stoppage.
Lions dominating possession here, 25-11 so far, and the contested numbers, which is something that they've been very poor in over a long period of time. 10 contested possessions to 5. And most importantly, they've got the reward of a couple of goals. Sloan and Jacobs collaborate. Goes no further though. Harwood, Robinson, been in the thick of it now. Zorko looks pretty bubbly this afternoon. Rich, and they share it around again. Christian, great take. Zorko turns it into something even better. And Hanley with an excellent pass to Green.
Well, that's why they want him getting the ball. Pierce Hanley makes good decisions. It was a clever kick. It doesn't look anything fancy. It was just a short little chip, but he summed up the forward 50 arc very, very quickly and very well. He found the one easiest option that would give them a set shot for goal.
Gee, terrific ball movement by hand, wasn't it?
Very slick through the middle.
Great collect from almost behind the back by Zorko to keep it moving. Here's Josh Green, averaging about the same as last year, 1.6 goals per game. That was not one he would care to remember too much, as he misses a big opportunity there.
And the confidence of his teammates that he'd get the journey meant they didn't have anyone on the line. And Jacobs takes an uncontested mark, which is unforgivable, really.
18-9 for the season for Josh Green.
He usually gets a strong scent of the goals. He doesn't miss too often.
Matt Crouch up along the wing. It's coming back to Dangerfield. Harris Andrews, the infringer. Just caresses it into the middle, and well delivered for Crouch.
Well, guys, with Andrews on the mark there, it means Walker right now has a big matchup, so he's trying to take him forward. Has Rich on him right now.
Let's see if that changes by the time the ball gets down there.
You'd be looking to roll over someone.
That's right. And Aish has got bets, so two mismatches.
Brodie Smith, there's Green doing it at the other end. Sloan, Douglas just tried to gain it a metre or so to get it forward.
And Dangerfield sitting on his own.
Now they're redistributing the defenders.
Need to reshuffle things.
Redden, who was back in the team last week after injury, looked probably like he needed the run. Ball goes over the line and out of bounds. Still had 20 disposals, 4 tackles and a couple of clearances. He is generally their best clearance player.
Yeah, very important, Redden, when he's fit and well. Just contested work is very important to get to the outside runners.
There's Crouch again. Pokes it forward and over the line. Gee, they'll be looking forward to getting Brad Crouch back into this team, won't they, too, the Adelaide Crows? He's a very good young player. But, at the moment, there's a big reliance on the likes of Dangerfield and Sloan in that midfield. Here's Aish to Green. And chopped off by Lynch. And well played for Walker, although it comes on the bounce and that presented its own difficulties. Redden again, getting the handball out, but it's going no further. Christensen shut down pretty smartly. Crows trying to lock it in the forward 50 now. Sheer wealth of numbers which continue to grow. Lynch paddled it back. Cameron Christensen stripped of it by tackle of Wright. Well, that could be in the back. Adelaide still without a goal after 11 minutes.
And the concern is, we spoke pre-game about their kicking efficiency is ranked 17 in the competition. Today already they're going at 44%, so only early, but 44% is unacceptable at AFL level. It's unacceptable at any level, really.
And there's the kick on its way from Beasley out to the wing. There's Brown rounding it up well with Jacobs. He went for too much by hand, perhaps. Douglas and Brown work it around again. Jacobs poking kick more than anything to half forward. Can't get a real free run at it here, the Crows. And that's to the credit, I guess, of the Brisbane Lions and the effort and the structure they've put in so far. Beams with 5 disposals so far, so too Zorko. Brown 5 and Dangerfield 4 for the Adelaide Crows. Green to half forward. And again some opportunity. Adcock. Christensen with a little dainty kick over the top for Lewis Taylor to hit the scoreboard for 3 out of 3. Bang!
Thought it was a very interesting option of Alan Christensen to kick that footy, a little off the outside of the boot sort of thing. I thought he could have hand passed it, just drawn the player and hand passed it, but you just see nice open space in front. It's Adcock that hits up and gets the ball on quickly now to the left of screen. There he is in space. It was a very difficult kick off the outside of the right boot, but that's a great finish from Lewis Taylor. And all of a sudden, serious doubt in the minds of the Adelaide players. The Lions have got themselves in the contest.
Certainly off to a flyer, the Mosquito fleet, and I think the encouraging signs, the fact that Zorko has 5, Green 4, Christensen 4, so the ball carriers are getting involved for Brisbane.
Back in the centre, looking to remedy the situation. Sloan worked well in combination with Jenkins, heaves it onto the boot. Howard watching, bets like a hawk, and he got the fist of the ball most importantly. It's still in, and the rebound back from all that hard work from Taylor Walker and into the Brisbane Lions' hands. So all that hard work to try and get it in there gets undone. Hanley marks the ace kick. Just his second disposal.
They're winning the contested possession early, which would please their coach, as we just see a pretty ordinary. Just as we're about to pay them a nice old compliment, I think Justin Levitt will be having a heart attack after watching that passage of play.
Yeah,
but they're winning the contested possession pretty well, 20-14, and it's pretty much even inside 50. But the handball receives have had twice as many of the Brisbane Lions, so getting some good run and link in the game.
Taylor Walker, 21 goals in 7 matches against the Lions, so an average of 3 goals against Brisbane is the best average he has against any club.
He's going the drop punt. Can you kick him from these pockets, Lynchy?
That's the hardest pocket on the ground.
It looked a bit left. It hasn't made the distance. Climbing high was Jenkins. He's still alive. Hamley decides to try and find a way out of there, which he does with Beams and Taylor's help. Bit of a shallow handball. The next one critical. Harwood got it to Robinson. They keep on going. They're flowing well now. Short kick from Taylor to Green. Next landmark is the middle of the ground, and that's Zorko. He's got Aish charging forward. Does he see him? He doesn't yet, and Martin doesn't see him either. They seemed oblivious. Went straight towards goal instead. And they hit a roadblock here. Christensen running into Talia.
Well, the Crows absolutely dodged the board on that occasion. As you said, Hutto, there was a wave of players, in particular Aish had 50 metres of space in this near wing, So the Lions just mucked that one up, but they've certainly got the Crows under enormous pressure.
Well, they're hurting him on the counter at the moment, aren't they? Here's Rich. We know he gets distance on the kick. Cheney, the ball slipped through the fingers. Adcock muscled through. McStay. And Laird is dragged over.
Well, they're running the ball far too easily out of the defensive half. Brisbane, they potentially can do that, but we haven't seen it too often. But again, the quick men are up and going today.
Hartigan doing the ruck work down there. Obviously a mismatch in terms of size. Well done, Thompson. They've worked it through Jenkins and Douglas and Laird, who's having a stellar season. And this opens things up for Charlie Cameron. He sets this nicely for Taylor Walker. Oh, Harris Andrews has done enough to fight him. Taylor goes again and not mucking around, just bangs it on the boot. And you can see the result.
That is a terrific effort from that young man, Daniel Andrews. That is just a...
Harris.
Daniel Harris. Harris Andrews.
Daniel Harris.
Daniel
is the Premier of the state of Victoria.
He is. Not my favourite fellow either. I thought that was just a fantastic defensive effort, though, to run back with the fly of the ball, just get an arm in.
Yeah, he was at home thinking he had a nice mention on the footy, Daniel Andrews, and then he got a clip.
Little drive-by from nowhere.
It didn't last long, did it? They're on the way. Beams again for Buick. Tried to make that look good, and it would have if he'd held on to it. Rory Sloane went straight for the boundary line. They're all appealing, and it's not even going to go out. So they can't quite pay deliver when it hasn't made it. Zorko for Aish with a bit of a run up here. There's a vacant square. He's not tempted. Not yet. Looking to lay it off. Inching closer to goal. And he finds Robinson. He got a little clip over the chops just to go with it.
Oh, he did miss a little bit.
A sting.
Yeah, it's interesting, wasn't it? The way he was flexing the fingers.
Yeah, just wondering whether he has been slightly concussed.
That was a very interesting reaction to the contact.
I think you watch him land here, Jay. He might hit his elbow and just get those stinging needles running through your hands.
Yep.
Kind of thing.
Just trying to flex it out. This is Cap a great start if he can put this through. Yeah, just the other one on top of the head from Rory Sloane.
And then a bit more from his teammate on the way as he rolled through. Didn't help matters too much. Mitch Robinson, 4 goals, 4 for the year. And that, as you can see, is a minor only.
So still well up in disposals, plus 17 for disposals in favour of Brisbane. And again, by foot, is 43%.
Well, it's the uncontested possession right now, Lynch, isn't it? It's the handballing that Brisbane are doing through the middle of the ground. They're getting themselves out of trouble just with quick little handballs, and right now Adelaide can't handle it.
It's a horrible kick out.
And beautifully handled too for the Lions. It comes back to Mitch Robinson. The kick goes inside 50. Paparone, he's just overdone it. Scott Thompson takes the grab, bursts away, kicks for Douglas. Cleanly done. Now if he can move it quickly, they were out. Wright was screaming for it at half forward, but he finds a different path. Lynch, who's a connecting player so often, out wide. Cheney drifting down from the wing to Taylor Walker in his sights. He gives it back to Laird, who runs inside 50, and Wright will have to jump over Clark, which he couldn't do.
They weren't able to finish, but that was by far and above Adelaide's best ball movement, and they were able to hit 4 passes. Just the last one inside 50 was a bit all over the shop and a good spoil in the end, but they just need to hit some targets and get some overlap run going.
And locked into the back pocket for the moment, Harris Andrews. As long as he can. Leuenberger had to adjust to put the spoil on Jacobs. Here's Redden, who's been excellent so far, but this time that's holding the ball.
Really good tackle. You've got to reward those tackles.
I think it was the non-controlling umpire that paid it too, which is interesting. Unusual for that sort of decision. Van Berlo poked it into the pocket again. Here's Eddie Betts trying to get to his feet. Basically threw that out. Howard, Douglas. She was claimed then pretty well, Howard. It's all scrappy stuff. Beasley, Beams, Taylor. Oops, suddenly Scott Thompson came up in the review mirror as he had a quick look as to what was around. Hanley back to the wing. Dangerfield on the spot. He's had a free kick. No, Robinson's hurt again. Cheney, he's up. Here's little Mitch. Here's Crouch. He's got a sore head though, Robinson. Kick goes inside 50. Douglas. Back for Thompson. Getting plenty of the footy now. Just again eased it into the pocket, and that goes against Jenkins, I think. Yep. And it's going Brisbane's way. Beams happy to take the advantage which was invoked. Paparone, it's again by hand. The Lions, the handball receives 33 to 16. It's a good method for them at the moment, hurting them on the counter attack, as we said. Green down the line, Buick.
I'll just pay him anyway. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
Foot or two. It's created plenty too. Rich back into the middle on the brink here. Oh, maybe just overdoing the finesse little kicks, but it might have ended up working all right for them. Well, Harwood's flying shot for goal. Here's another behind.
Another very strange kick. Stephen Martin, that one a 2-metre kick off the outside of the boot. Well, both players were diving in there, so I don't think you can say it's taking the legs out.
It was close to, though, wasn't it? Down the middle. Gets over the top of everybody, and this could put a bit of pressure here. Well, that could have been anything for Hugh Beasley. Well done, Rich. Back to Clark. So this very tender young Brisbane Lion defence is holding up extremely well. They haven't conceded a goal so far, but they've created some chances going forward. And here's another one. Zorko with those legs pumping. Sends it into the pocket. And well done, Brodie Smith to adjust. He gets some help. Is it enough? Burke kicked his first goal in AFL football earlier in the corner. And now he's got two.
Well, I think the major concern is the fact that Zorko is getting his hands on the ball like Hank Green. We saw it flow through there. Zorko touched the ball on 2 occasions. Now, Burke did some nice work to finish it off, but the overlap run from the players like Zorko is a major concern. I think they need to put a lockdown onto Zorko. He hasn't had a big year so far, but certainly he's up and going in the early stages of today's game. There's Jordan Burke. Didn't think he'd be starting full forward.
He likes this forward line caper, Lynchy.
Yeah, absolutely. He's enjoying it. It's been a tough caper playing full back for the Brisbane Lions over the last couple of weeks, and he's snuck forward, and he's putting on a clinic so far with 2 goals.
Well, Crows need to get moving, and they know it. Matt Crouch sends them to centre half forward, but again, Beasley, this young defence. Paparone. Just way too big, Leuenberger for Hartigan. He's got Buick deep, one-on-one with Kelly, or he could have gone long to Burke. Instead, it's a bit more of the short stuff. Redden.
They're absolutely dominating this contest at the moment.
Hanley, he can launch. High to full forward. Ace will get there late. He's waiting for us to hit the ground, but it falls instead for Cameron. Falling over at an awkward moment, and they're not out of it by any means. Here's Ace with the set-up, Rich, and that deadly long left foot. It was a strange kick from Rich.
He just stabbed at it.
It was a half swing through on it. It's just
the question for Brisbane is they've had twice as many possessions, 102 to 57, 13 to 10 the inside 50s. Can they make the most of this period of dominance to actually stretch out a really big lead? 4 goals probably isn't enough given how much they've dominated thus far.
Yep. It was a beautiful kick in from Brodie Smith that sent Laird away, and now they've got to run. So Cameron was on for the short. Instead, he goes down to Jenkins. Oh, no whistle.
They're butchering the ball going inside 50, realistically.
They had an extra there, completely ignored it.
Yeah, I mean, they might get another opportunity here. This is out of the full, but Cameron was just there for a little handball over the top, wasn't he?
Composure under half pressure has been poor. It's probably a free kick against Clark, but that's the way it goes.
So Rory Sloane, he's had 5 disposals. Dangerfield just the 4 in the first quarter, and there's Jenkins' marks eventually anyway.
Well, that's what Jenkins and Taylor Walker want. Get the ball in one-on-one. They can jump. They're a lot bigger than their direct opponents. And that was a good confidence-building jump from Jenkins.
Just reached over and snatched it out of the hands of Howard, who was in pretty good position.
And put the knee in the ribs as well as a little investment for the later stages of the game. So Harwood will be sore.
They desperately needed the Crows. Just need a settler. Need to get themselves into the contest.
So Josh Jenkins on his way in. He's kicked 17-7 for the year. And that's a fine result. About time for the Crows. It's taken 24 minutes and 14 seconds for a major here at the Gather.
You're spot on, Jace, with the reward from the effort so far for the Brisbane Lions. Probably not a true reflection on the domination of the game, but that's what you want. Get the ball in quick, one-on-one situation, and the big forwards jump at the ball. But one thing that is clear is the Lions are prepared to use the ball short to drag up the defence, then get over the back of the Adelaide Crows defence and run into open goals.
So the kicking efficiency has improved over the last 10 minutes. Finally, a goal on the board.
The game high at the moment is 51% for Adelaide by foot. So the last 10 minutes has been good, but across the quarter has been poor.
Only one less inside 50. H. Oh. He was upended, Mitch Robertson saying, how about it? Dangerfield caught, but gets enough of it for Rory Sloane. He also was impeded to some degree as the kick slips across the face.
They can just find another goal, the Crows. I think they'll feel pretty good about having weathered the storm in this first quarter.
4 goals to 1 though at the moment, so they do need that extra one back. It's a bare minimum. They might get it right now. Scott Thompson wrapped it around the body. He comes up just short.
He just ran unimpeded through the back of that contest and into space.
6 disposals for Scott Thompson, 32 years of age, coming off a 32 possession game against Hawthorn. So after a slow start to the year with injury, he's had it. Oh, gee, Rich was pushing the line there. He's having another good season, Scotty Thompson. Not really showing much signs of slowing down his output. But Brisbane just on the back foot for the moment as the Crows attack again, but again it's wide. Justin Leppard should be very pleased with this first quarter. But a critical 3 minutes remaining. Clark trying desperately to get it out of there. The Crows trying to put some press on here and make it difficult for these young Brisbane defenders. So far so good though for the home team. Up beyond the wing, Redden's kick goes. And eventually we do see the ball over the line and out of bounds. Laird, who just had another possession there, now has 8 for the game. He's having an incredible season, Rory Laird.
He'd be in discussions when they're talking about the squad for the All-Australian. I think he's been one of their shining lights down back for the Crows.
Averaging 24 disposals per game. Coming up towards his 50th game. He's had 46 for the Adelaide Crows.
46 to 20, the handball receives in favour of Brisbane. So linking up, running well the Lions.
There's Laird again, helping himself. His 10th disposal to half forward.
Good spoil from the Premier.
Van Berlo coming through Sloane, back to Dangerfield. And it's out of bounds on the full.
I can't get his name wrong if I call him that.
Stick with that. It's got a chance of sticking as well, I would have thought, as the boys get onto it.
So Justin Clark with 2 minutes 20 up against that line. That's close to being wide of the line, but it stays in. Christensen finds there's nowhere to go to his left, so he's straight over the line. Just the 4 possessions for Alan Christensen in this opening term.
There's a quiet last 10 minutes. Started the quarter well.
He's kicked 10 goals this year. Average just over 20 possessions. There's Dangerfield. So their midfielders are starting to find it now. Sloane with 8, Thompson and Dangerfield with 7. Still hasn't amounted to as much as they would have liked. Just the 1 goal in the opening term. Talia, Cameron and Rich. Cameron did well to his own advantage. And we know that Brodie Smith can run. And he's a beautiful kick when he's on his game. And there's a great example.
The penetration of that kick is extraordinary, isn't it? He can kick it 55, 60 metres and it only goes so high in the air. It is just all penetration, this kick. Good hand pass from Eddie Betts over the top, and that's just a bullet, absolute bullet from 50.
And speaking of Laird, ball-winning defender, Smith was one of their leading lights last year. Probably hasn't had quite the same season,
no.
But he's starting to improve, work into his season, and an important player today and for the remainder.
He had some injury and some concussion to deal with, didn't he, Brodie Smith? He was also being played on the wing a little bit by Phil Walsh rather than in defence, but has returned back last week.
Just to reinforce it, so Adelaide is still 47% by foot. Their leading ball winners, such as Laird, is 40%, Sloan 33%, Thompson 25%. So the guys that are getting ball in hand aren't hitting targets by foot.
Is there a way out for Matt Crouch? No. Well done, Jed Adcock, coming in hard to lay that tackle. Minute 30 to go. Adelaide tackle count 26, Brisbane just 14. Bangs it up to full forward. The height was there with Stephen Martin. Brown, instinctive handball to the voice of right. And they're away again, the Crows. Jenkins called upon. He's just happy to oblige. Taking the mark out in front of Andrews. 4-3-27 to 2-3-15. Enterprising opening term from Brisbane, but the Lions have seen Crows kick a couple of goals late in the term. Cut the margin back to that 2 even goals.
The Crows have dropped the one man behind the play and have matched up Brisbane's players.
Taylor and Beams. Bit of a standoff. Drives it down the line. Ardigan the spoiler. Jacobs had to be careful not to infringe on Robinson. Who stole the march, got it through to Zorko. Happy to send it wide. Back to Dane Beams again. He's up to his 11th disposal here, Beams.
And Zorko with the 10 as well, the man that kicked it to him.
Last 20 seconds of the opening turn.
McStay.
Oh, boy, he was high, McStay. Can do that. At the moment, probably not getting enough of the footy, and it's tough as a young man in attack, obviously, Lindsay. You can talk more about that. But kicked 3 goals last week, so showing some signs.
He's got a bag of 4 under his belt at Etihad Stadium about 6 weeks ago.
Into the opening term, and the Brisbane Lions will take a 2-goal advantage into quarter time here. They kicked 4-3 to 2-3. Their young defence were excellent early. They kicked some goals, and then the Crows just starting to steady and had a couple of their own before the first break. So we've got a contest. That's the good news. Stay with us in the twilight in Brisbane.
Up to ribbon, so they've matched that up in that last 10 minutes. Certainly the Adelaide Crows have had plenty of the ball.
Second quarter then from the Gabba. Twilight footy. After a little lull there, the umpire is now ready to go. Jacobs takes position against Leuenberger. Did well, knocked it down, but Redden reading it nicely off the left boot. Probing kick, no mark Taylor, but again the backup from Laird. He'll direct the kick. That's a great result as far as Adelaide is concerned. Maybe Redden could have picked it up himself.
Could he have attacked that ball and actually really got there?
Sort of a bit in between for him, wasn't it? The Lions have 2 wins this year. One against Port Adelaide here and the other against Carlton on the road. Okay, squeezes the kick out and it works all right for Wright.
Good positioning. Really good positioning from Clark.
Handled it.
Really bad handle.
Solid, an absolute shocker. Going to get out of it through Taylor, or are they? Rory Sloane's efforts were excellent.
Gee, the midfield battles are fascinating. Just to start the second quarter, as they started the match, you had Redden and Thompson going at it, Sloane and Beams, and Hanley and Dangerfield. Fantastic matchups.
Take your partners around the stoppage. There's Thompson and Hanley. That might be against Pierce Hanley. Coming back to Scotty Thompson.
Defensive zone back in place now, protecting the corridor. Brisbane are, so they're forced to go down the line in the Crows.
Hoping that Taylor Walker or someone might be able to jump up, and it's Wright that does the honours and takes the mark almost within range.
That's a real bonus for the Crows. That shouldn't happen, to take a mark there as they play on.
You go back to Brody Smith, who was a long way out from goal.
It's not just not just a long way out, Hunter, as you said, Letchy. You've got to take that inside. You can't go further towards the boundary. It makes it virtually an impossible kick.
So it's a bad handball and a bad call.
You'd nearly make an exception if it's Buddy Franklin on his left foot.
Yep.
But that's about the only one who you would say is a 50-50 chance of kicking it from there.
Laird places it back to the 50. They've got an extra couple of numbers here, the Crows. Lynch takes the mark. He's looking, peering inside that 50. What's he spotted? Oh, it was low percentage. There was Lions players. It's 50. Yeah,
it should be.
Rightfully, as you call, Jason.
He never got back behind the mark. Taylor Walker.
They are zoning back well and protecting that corridor, and that's where the pass went to try to get to Taylor Walker, but just had to get over two Lions players' heads.
Bit going on between Thompson and Hanley off the ball as well.
Stephen Martin gets it safely through the traffic to Redden. Zorko's been waiting a while out there to provide a different avenue of attack. Green nullified effectively by Brown.
Eddie Betts just the 3 possessions. They've done a good job on him thus far.
His goals have dried up a little bit of late, Eddie.
Harwood doing the job.
Jacobs pats it down for right. Much margin for error on that kick, but well executed. Taylor Walker a long way from home. So Eddie's isolated inside the 50, but they've turned it over. Green with a handball. They wanted to move it on at all costs. Aish hacks it inside. And the hack was the underlining word there. Cheney had a clean-up operation.
It was only marginally worse than Taylor Walker's kick, though.
Yeah, into the block on the mark.
They're on here, though. Smith down the line. Made it difficult for Charlie Cameron. Has to let it bounce. Going to get away from him. That is inexcusable almost.
Well, that sums up their kicking efficiency for the season, and that's why they're running at 46% for the game, and that's why they're ranked 17th in the competition and struggled over the last month. They get the ball, but they butcher it by foot.
Well, Phil Walsh talked through the week about the frustrations. Compared himself to and the Crows to Van Gogh and the frustrations he had, and that sometimes it can create a masterpiece. Well, they look a long way off a masterpiece at the moment.
It looks like some of Van Gogh's stuff really messy at the moment.
That's Van Magoo, that stuff, isn't it?
He's Cameron kicking the ball forward, and that's better. Jenkins takes the mark.
Again, one-on-one, get the ball deep to a one-on-one situation. Jenkins and Walker should dominate those positions, but the supply hasn't been of the right sort of quality.
I think this is the matchup they like there in Adelaide forward line, though, boys, because they've got him deep just about every time the ball's gone into their forward line. It's been Jenkins v. Garner down there. Clark, sorry.
So he comes in, Jenkins, and puts it through. It's back to 1-goal ball game now.
And that is certainly a very important factor of the game. See Taylor Walker contesting for the overhead mark there. He needs to throw his body at the contest. But good work here from Cameron to get back on his feet quickly and get the ball in deep. One-on-one, the elevator kick deep. Very easy then for Jenkins or any forward really just to ease their player under the ball without pushing in the back. And Clark was well and truly out of position and an easy goal.
He's looming a bit, isn't he, at the moment, Josh Jenkins?
Well, if you look at the Crows have kicked the last 3 goals, they've dominated possession, they're plus 11 in disposals. Their kicking efficiency is still poor, but they're certainly going in the right direction.
Robinson bombs it high. Talia's going to go over his head. Cheney in the wrestle with Burke. Taking it to the line. No, he kept it alive. It was adventurous stuff. Laird loves it on those terms. He's bouncing, he's stumbling and bumbling. He's got them out, though. Just the one handball away, and still didn't really get it on their terms.
Good pressure from the Brisbane Lions. Everyone coming off their man, pushing up to the dangerous player, forcing hurried handballs over the top, eventually an error. They get a chance at a stoppage at half forward.
So it has to advantage, giving those Crows midfielders the opportunity to dominate. They lead the clearances by 3. Jacobs down to Crouch, trying to find Sloan. But Brisbane winning their fair share of the contested footy. Dangerfield without a possession in this second quarter so far, as he's on the bench at the moment.
And young Daniel McStay finding life tough when you're up against one of the premier defenders in the competition, Daniel Talia. Hasn't touched the ball yet. Just got to keep competing, keep presenting.
The ruckmen both stumble into each other. Crouch. Tough for Laird. They're lining up ready to take it to the Lions. Christensen feeling the heat. And we'll have a ball up. Beams is already up to 14 disposals for Brisbane. 12 to Zorko. 2 goals to young Jordan Burke. Looking to add to that, but likewise the Crows are trying to find a path out of defence. So the Crows are organised here. Smith dropping off the pack, as you can see, as the spare close to goal. Right.
Just one of the things that we've heard from the Lions all week about contested possessions, just in this second term, just dropped off a little. They're -6 for the term. Good in the first quarter, but they must maintain that high level.
It's an area that's been a problem for a number of years too, Lynchy, isn't it? So it'll be hard to fix quickly. There's Andrews soaring. Short pass from Rich to Taylor. Back to Rich again, trying to use his skills on that left boot, and they do to good effect. And it's Adcock to line them up.
So we spoke about pre-game, Lindsay. One of the reasons he's playing across half-back, Daniel Rich, is the ability to pick options going forward and to hit targets. Now, he forced a little bit of work out of Jed Adcock, but he found him in space. And the set shot, which will be from just inside 50, directly in front, is the ones that he's got to kick. Experienced on-field leader, Jed Adcock.
Already with 4 goals this year, coming into today. Fair way to the left.
Doesn't get too many opportunities to shoot for goal, but has to make the most of those chances. I'm still amazed that Rich has been given so much space. Hasn't had a heap of the ball. He's had 11 disposals, but as you said, Jace, one of the best users. They must lock him down.
Taylor feeding it back. An underground handball from big Stephen Martin allows Crouch in. Adapted well to get it out of there. Van Berlo onto the wing. Lynch now right. Eddie's screaming for it in the goal square. Comes up to the footy, but right now must have a shot. And unfortunately, it was always going to be a difficult one out on the full.
I reckon Eddie gives him a few words there, and entitled to, because it's a set shot for Eddie in the pocket. Smith wanted to, wanted to keep going and kick the goal himself. Just a little selfish, I think.
So Rich, his 12th disposal. Takes Brisbane out onto the wing. Bit of wrestling going on. Play on Mitch Robinson, only knows one way. And that's aggression, whether it be the ball or the man. And sometimes that aggression can get the better of him, and sometimes it can be downright annoying to the player he's playing on.
It's a handy one to have in your side. Yeah. You're going to get a mixed bag, but here's opposition players looking around.
Okay. Likely either, was it, for Taylor Walker?
Well, that's the thing. If he hit the target, he's going to have a shot from row 6.
Oh, look at this.
Dane Beams trying to get in and protect Alan Christensen. Always wonder about guys punching from the front. You may as well go the mark.
Yeah.
I mean, if you don't mark it, you've still spoiled the ball because you've got your hands on it first.
Martin went for a little cute tap. Beams found a way to get it onto the boot.
That was a great kick.
Yeah,
to keep it in bounds.
And here's Leuenberger. Just his 3rd disposal.
This is going to be risky.
Oh, no.
This is trouble.
And he decides to make it someone else's kicking problem.
I'm glad he gave it to someone that can make a better decision, we hope.
Closing down on Dane Beams, but he's been able to use his skills there. Justin Clark takes the mark. So Brisbane hanging on to a 7-point advantage.
Hasn't really opened play up for them, though.
Clark bangs it up to half-back. Still not quite to the wing. Getting close to those. The ball comes off the pack, over and out, so just 7 goals kicked in this game so far.
Zorko back on the ground after a couple of minutes on the sidelines just to freshen up as Pierce Hanley comes on as well.
Clear path for Scott Thompson. Taylor Walker, the crunch came from behind. Clark's hurt himself and he's limping, so can they take advantage of that? Laird hammered it inside. Dangerfield.
A free kick. Brisbane have a corked buttock. Clark, very ginger the way he's getting around there. He's struggling to get around. He's going to try to probably get off the ground.
A little scrappy on the way out. And now he has to handball Hanley. Zorko won't mind though. Those little steps, charging along the wing. McKay couldn't stop him, and inside 50. Leuenberger, the big ruckman, comes up to take it, and a big shot coming up for the Lions. Big shot.
Well, they know Adelaide's going to come at them, so they've got to make the most of these sort of opportunities. We saw Adcock miss one that he should have kicked moments ago. Now Leuenberger, another of those senior type players that I think Justin Lepich has sort of asked more of Lynchy.
Yep.
He'd like to see these sort of kicks go through.
To take them back to a 13-point advantage, mechanical type approach, but it does the job. Right through the middle from Leuenberger and the Lions.
That's it. They needed the goal, and they needed Matty Leuenberger to get involved as well. And the coach's box for the Brisbane Lions and some players just resting up in the adjacent box as well. But they'd be very happy. Matty Leuenberger is doing bulk of his work in the ruck and then pushing forward, but he has to impact the scoreboard. Otherwise, it's a waste of a position, really. And they need to probably get more speed on. As I see Justin Clark ready to come back on the ground, possibly.
No, Lynchy, just watching him down here at the moment, he's just got whacked on that tailbone down there, and look, he's really struggling to move at the moment. So big news down here with the matchups down there with Jenkins. We know how damaging he has been so far.
Been inside 55 more times than Brisbane. Adelaide find themselves 13 points down. Make that 6. Taylor Walker of Betts. Either could hang on. It's still bubbling around. Betts tried to fashion something off the ground. Fairly strong kick from Beasley, and look at Louis Taylor turn it into something gold for Brisbane. Might be coming back the other way on the flip around. Charlie Cameron, a wild handball. Douglas, Dangerfield not having a big impact so far. Every time he picks it up, they grab him, but he kept it moving. Brown eventually comes Brisbane's way. That's what that pressure will do. Taylor hits back. It's scrappy affair at the moment. Taylor goes again and guides it to half forward.
Leuenberger one out against Hartigan.
Dirk sends it that way again, and he'll get it again, big Leuenberger.
Well, he's actually getting on his bike. He's leading well, moving around. He's not allowing Hartigan to get body on body. He's keeping him guessing, circling up the field, coming back in behind him, and he lost him in transit there. Can he produce another of those good kicks?
The other one was too, Jace. Mitch Robertson flew inside 50, which put Hartigan into 2 minds where the kick was going to go. That got the separation for Leuenberger as well.
Good composure from young Jordan Burke to just wait that pass out in front.
He'd only kicked 3 goals before today for the season, and it stays at just 1 with that kick from Matthew Leuenberger.
Interesting approach, Jace.
Well, it doesn't look natural, but he did kick the one beforehand, so he's going to go with what works for him. You just feel that if they don't really capitalise on these good opportunities, that it might come back to haunt them. But they are playing well. That's an ordinary kick.
Well, that's probably why it won't.
Yeah, because their kicking is just appalling at the moment, isn't it, the Crows? Jake Kelly had a big headache there. Brody Smith, gee, that's giving Brisbane an opportunity to come in and take a mark inside 50 or get a crumb. Paparone couldn't snaffle it up. Well done, Matt Crouch. Handball to Kelly. Tries to wade his way through. Can't. That might have been high on Rich.
Just outside his range.
Yeah,
if he's got corridor, you see Jenkins is protecting the corridor. Rich would like to swing around onto that left, although he might be a bit sore.
Got a little corky, perhaps.
And guys, news down here, Justin Clark has gone down underneath as well, so maybe trying to get some padding on that lower back area.
Oh, McStay, he's gone for a couple of big hangs today. Hurled out of there by Laird. Now Brody Smith charging through. Sloan almost in the back of Hanley. Ball still just bubbling around. Might be a throw.
It is.
Oh, is it? Think you got a fist to that?
Probably not. So Pierce Hanley, just his 7th disposal. Paparone.
That's a good kick.
Beasley, they're inching closer. He wants to give. He wants to. He's off now. He could have gone short to Aish. Instead, it's a bomb to the square. And rising the highest was Jacobs. They're on guard. He kept it in, didn't concede the behind. Now Kelly looked a bit hesitant about where to go next. Sloan trying to muscle over the ball. Hanley Wouldn't be denied, though. This is good play by Brisbane. The pressure, they're cranking it up here on the Adelaide Crows. Is there a path out? Still might be. Eddie Betts, all hands on deck at the moment for the Crows. Head down over the ball. Mitch Robinson first, Paparone next. The game just heating up. Players can sense that this is a crucial 10 or 12 minutes coming up to half-time.
Look at Daniel McStay. This is a good leap and wears it right on the button.
Just need to get the thumbs behind it.
Crouch creeps over the back of Taylor's head, but Taylor Walker led to the ball by Beasley. Came a second time, did the skipper. And they somehow get it to half-forward, but they seem to be outnumbered every time there's a contest at the moment. Beasley, they're slipping and sliding. Harwood, not prettiest for the Lions, but it's pretty effective. Back to the wing. Mitch Robinson against Sloan. They pitted well against each other there. And the ball comes off hands and over the line and out of bounds. Always something happening with Mitchy Robinson.
Goes off for a spell, but certainly the Lions are putting big numbers around the contest, which doesn't make it easy for the Crows to address their kicking efficiency issue. But you just feel they'll get well and truly back in this game and may kick away if they sharpen that facet of the game up. But at the moment, the pressure from Brisbane is causing turnovers by foot from Adelaide.
Adelaide in front now in the contested possessions, but as Lindsay said, it's not amounting to anything on the scoreboard because they can't maintain possession.
Well, just the thing that will happen, though, if Brisbane get too far down a contested possessions, their outside runners won't get the ball. And if they don't get the ball, they'll struggle to score.
Lillenberger with a poke down. Van Burley, the situation was set for him. Was able to ride high, wanted to move it on. Thompson to Sloan, chance from there. Banged away to full forward. The wrestle, it was all set for Jenkins. And this time, he just couldn't hold his ground. Split second longer. And he would have taken the mark if he'd been able to do so. Ace in the back pocket. In the team today, as we said, his 10th disposal. Again, Sloan coming one way. Got good protection from Charlie Cameron. Not the most convincing kick from Rory Sloan. Barely made the 45 metres. Off hands through from behind.
Justin Clark just about to come back on, guys, so seems to be okay. Jenkins, Jace, Lynch, he'd be so disappointed. They had the matchup that he wanted.
Yep.
Had those young boys down there with him. Just needed to straight take that one in.
What's your bread and butter power forward mark?
Patrick Dangerfield with just, I think, one disposal this quarter. So some of their guns can't get into the game. It's been a low-scoring second term, just a goal each. 1 goal, 2 to Brisbane, 1 goal, 1 to Adelaide.
Doesn't have to be pretty. Just has to be consistent about effort for the Brisbane Lions, and almost as we approach half-time, you can say their commitment's been excellent. The question is, can they maintain this sort of effort for 4 quarters?
Laird's had 9 disposals this term. Crouch and Smith 7 each. Van Burley, it's like he's colourblind there. He handed it straight over to Buick, to Mitch Robinson. Bangs it up to full forward. Hanley, Brown, he stole the march on him. Got the inside lane and runs it through for a goal.
Oh, he's quick.
What about the turn on the spot?
Just quick turn to the right, and he'd be pretty happy. He's got half the family out here from Ireland. Zorko going up for the ruck contest with Jacobs. Van Burley, terrible handball straight to, let's see who it was there. Buick it was. And have a look at this. You've got to protect the goals. Ducks to the right and beautifully around kicks the goal. Important one for Piers Hanley. 3 games back into the side.
Back to 19 points.
Mum Natalie out from Ireland for the week. Be pretty happy to see her son playing some good football now, getting back after that hip injury.
I mentioned Dangerfield, just the 1 touch in this quarter. Betts, just the 1 touch in this quarter. Scotty Thompson, just 3 touches in this quarter. So some of the key movers for the Crows just not getting involved.
Yeah, Taylor Walker can't really get into the game either, can he? So they've got some issues for Walsh and the coaching staff. As we said, between now and half-time, all important. It wasn't the news he needed from the umpire while he was mid-flight, was it?
I think he knew it, though.
Brown in pain by the look of that.
the throat.
Robinson again. They're winning around the edges again for the moment. Inside 50 goes Louis Taylor. Here's Piers Hanley, confronted by Cheney. Working hard in there at half forward.
Speaking of throat, he's got Piers Hanley around the throat.
So Brown with a high contact. Hanley gets to his feet. Still doesn't quite look right. Brown pokes it for Burke. Can't take the mark.
Just watch the bottom of the screen here. Oh, just a little left to the throat from Piers Hanley.
From Stephen Martin.
Was it Martin, wasn't it?
Big Steph just getting involved.
Sloan he was talking to. Hurry kick from Martin across the goal. Eventually it's obtained by McKay. As you said, bereft of any obvious targets, goes for Charlie Cameron. Rich did wonderfully well in the air. They just held him at bay. Now Betts tries to put a bit of a move on. Got to call a timely one from his man inboard in Rory Sloan. He's looking to construct something here for the Adelaide Crows. There's nothing doing for him. There's something in the middle, he won't see it. He was committed to going down the lines. Well-placed kick, wasn't it, for Jenkins? He could mark on his chest. That was a luxury. Bangs it up to full forward. Lions have an extra number. Hard to deal with back there. The men standing, they were all Adelaide. Oh, what a smother by Robinson. Fully committed as always, Mitch Robinson. You get some bang, but gee, the good's good. And it's inspiring stuff for his teammates, Mitch Robinson.
Yeah, it's good work from Robinson and Taylor. That Dangerfield deep, so they push back hard to stop that mark.
It's as good as kicking a goal at the other end.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, he hasn't racked up big numbers, Mitch Robinson, but I mean, realistically, he hasn't come up here on a high pay packet. And that's the sort of thing he's been recruited for. As you said, there's good and bad with Mitch, but I think he brings something to the club that's really important.
And it was the second ever because he was involved in the marking contest.
I was going to say, his recovery from that marking contest was incredible, wasn't it? Here's Beams, continues to collect, although this time he doesn't add to his 17 disposals. Lewis Taylor's become much more than just a handy little forward now, Lynchy. He got plenty of the ball last week, starting to rack some numbers up. He had 26 last week. He's got 17 today.
Now, he had a slow start to the season, but he's worked his way in. Once the second month of football came around, started to work his way into the season nicely and racking up more and more disposals and using the ball by foot really well.
There's Kelly feeding Thompson. They're forced to go back now. Cheney decides to be a bit more aggressive by nature. Kicks it up into the 50. It's gone over Rich's head. They slide along the line. Wright's trying to get dangerous, but the boundary was too close. And the lead remains 18. 6-5 plays 3-5. Twilight footy from the Gabba. Beautiful evening here. Dunker's poked it down. Zorko knows where the haven was, and that's the boundary line. Eventually finds it.
And Zorko's another one that had a very slow start this season. He's had a pretty good 2 or 3 weeks, the last 2 or 3 games, and again, he's playing pretty well today with his speed, able to break lines, 14 disposals.
Well, Dangerfield again was held up and couldn't get any clean air. This is Rich. To Hancock, they've been dangerous with their use by hand, and again it's got them into the open. Hanley, as they power forward, misses the mark, and that man was Burke, so that suits on the terms for Daniel Talia. Cheney didn't want to kick it the cross goal there, instead finding Thompson. Is there any other riches through the middle of the ground? There's not really. Well done from Van Berlo, who's hopelessly outnumbered there, and he fought the good fight for the Crows. Could have been diving on the ball there, but the umpire determines no. Their ball up instead.
Again, running off half-back, not a lot of pressure on the ball carrier, and kick to a 2-on-1.
Yeah, their kicking efficiency is still down at 51. Really struggling, the Crows, by foot.
Thompson just heaved it by hand. Walker can't get any space. He's a bit lucky there.
I reckon very lucky. Extremely lucky for Taylor Walker there.
Didn't look like he was protesting, Paparone.
Certainly Walker wasn't protesting. He was thinking that this is a real bonus. And a shot for goal in the first term from out in the full.
6 disposals for the night, just his second mark. As I said, he's enjoyed his time previously here at the Gabba. 18 goals in 5 games, including a bag of 6 in round 20 last year. Started the season in a blaze of glory with 6 goals in round 1, but only 2 in the past 3 weeks, and that's a less than confident kick at goal. Really lame by his standards, wasn't he? He's such a beautiful, strong kick and can really drive them through, but lack of confidence on display there. And they're 3-6 now, Adelaide. Brisbane 6-5. Margin 17. Might come back again. Crouch at 2 or even 3 lines to contend with. Beasley put the nice move on and then slipped. He'll get it out of there anyway. Here's Talia. And Steph Martin.
Dangerfield still only 1 disposal for the term.
8 for the game so far.
Yeah, massive concern. Just got to get their superstar into this contest.
And for Brisbane, Alan Christensen just the 6th. I'd like him to get a little bit more involved as well.
Thompson, Crouch, spending plenty of time at the coalface. The half forward. Van Berlo did enough to get it back for Douglas. Again, scrappy. Jacobs, they're just staying ahead of the pressure here, but only just. Well, Lynch fell out. It's getting really greasy down there. We'll check with Moons in a moment. Here's Patrick Dangerfield to try and change things up. Magnificent collect and quick kick into the square. And there's still danger when Eddie Betts is around. The wraparound tackle. Kelly tried to march through. Couldn't take the ball with him. He goes again, Kelly. And they've locked it up. Something we haven't seen too much. Lock it up really close to goal here, the Crows.
Big numbers back, Brisbane. Crows have got numbers in the corridor, just forward.
Torpedoed out of there smartly by Zorko. And that's a terrific result for the Lions.
Probably a little bit lucky, actually, Brisbane there. They left a number of Crows 25 metres out from goal, unchecked.
So a minute 10 to work with here. No free kick to Jacobs.
Touch sharp, that handball.
To 2 feet.
He took his head off.
Taylor.
Just got to compete here, it's going out in full.
So Adelaide will get one last crack at it here. They've conceded 2 goals, 2 and managed only 1 goal, 3 themselves in this quarter. Lynch wants to go. He wants to go by hand.
Lewis Taylor's limit. He's hobbling after that contest.
McKay with the setup again. Jenkins the most likely, but again the spoiling work is outstanding. Clark got involved, got the fist to it, knuckled it over the line and out of bounds. 38 seconds remaining in this second term. Can Adelaide scrounge a goal and get within 11 points at the major break? Jacobs, Paparone. They've got the answers at the moment, haven't they?
They're just weathering the storm. The quarter, 17-12 inside 50s. Only 4 scoring shots from those 17 entries for the term, so 4 apiece. 2-2 to 1-3. So the Lions have done exceptionally well considering the amount of ball early in this quarter that Adelaide had.
He fell to the lap of Josh Green. Brisbane had all their resources on the defensive case, so there's no one to go to. Hence the reload now from the Crows, although it's not coming easily. Thompson, they've had a meal of that. Cheney put the head down and it's over and out. And that'll just about do it for Brisbane. Only 9 seconds remaining. It's on its way back again. Martin down. Under the squeeze. Zorko. Umpire reluctant to blow the whistle. That'll just about do it. And the local crowd are delighted. This Brisbane team have not had a lot go their way this year. A lot of injuries. Just 2 wins in the first half of the season. But right now they lead by 17 points against the Adelaide Crows at half-time. 6-5-41 to 3-6-24. We're going to get to Moons in a moment, but some quick thoughts, boys.
I thought they've been very impressive, the Brisbane Lions. They're committed. The amount of pressure they've been able to put on the Adelaide Crows hasn't allowed them time and space, and that's one of the reasons their kicking is so poor. Whilst they haven't been a great kicking team this year, Lynchy, I think they're not doing themselves any favours, the Crows, but you've got to give credit to the Lions.
Yeah, 2 major focus points pre-game. The Lions have been able to execute with their contested balls the Adelaide Crows haven't been able. They've just slaughtered the ball. They've had plenty of disposals and plenty of space, but haven't been able to hit the targets, haven't been able to utilise their big size advantage in the forward half.
Masterpieces, though.
No, he'd be very frustrated the way they've played, and it'll be interesting to see whether he's been able to wave the magic wand and produce something here in the second half from the Crows.
This young Brisbane defence has been able to hold its ground against the Adelaide Crows forwards. That may change in the second half. It needs to for the Crows. It starts in the middle with Jacobs and with Dangerfield. What a grand exit out of the middle. Not the best kick, though, it has to be said, to fall forward.
The courage from Paparone going back with the flight of the ball.
Dangerfield will be really pumped after that second quarter, where I think he only had the two disposals for the term.
Only 8 in the first half.
Up for grabs now. Ball jarred out. Christensen got a little handball. Beams ends up with it from Redden. Goes searching out to the wing. Hardigan comes to the ball, but Zorko provides that energy and buzz across the wing. Green scoots into half forward again. The guide was good for Burke. Nothing for him inside 50 yet. Now it might materialise in Green, who works just inside the arc, and he was impetuous. He was desperate to move it to Rich. Got to him eventually, not the way he would have liked, but still a chance. Adcock!
2 laps.
Yeah, he had a good look at all the crowd here, didn't he?
Gee, that's a wasted opportunity for Brisbane.
It was, yeah. Green just didn't quite get off his mark and kick the ball in, but it was the smaller players again involved.
I'm sure why Sam Jacobs looks so perplexed about the man on the mark trying to smother him. Gee, that's interesting call distance about not being 15. They get to Talia.
This is the one that's falling down, hitting these targets. Oh, there you go.
Well, he's kicked it on his left foot and proved to be rather inept.
Well, you didn't need to. You could go back here to 2-on-1 forward.
And Taylor Walker as captain, so frustrated.
Well, the Crows are that far off the pace, really. If they're going to contend with the top teams, it's farcical how they're turning the ball over. We've seen them in good positions against top teams, but they butcher it because if they don't hit targets.
Lack of communication really hurts here. Cameron on the fly. Runs it to 50, and wouldn't you know it, he's lucky to score behind.
Well, Lewis Taylor and Jack Redden just not on the same wavelength. Have a look at this. Hit him on the number.
Talk about turning it back in the situation.
Well, he was there to get it, and he thought he's ignoring me, so I'll run on for the next one. And as he put the head down and ran on, then Lewis Taylor gave it. Just too slow.
Rich with the jab. This is a test here of the Lions, I reckon. It's the way this quarter has started. Beams.
Oh, they're out here too.
Well, they're doing this really well. They're drawing up the defence. They're getting in behind and getting the run on the far side.
Time was on the side there of Andrews. Gets it over the top to Taylor, and he's missed.
Well, you just feel that Adelaide will get on top here, but they've got to turn a number of things around before that happens.
Gee, Brisbane are going to give them some opportunities, aren't they?
Yeah, well, that's right. And still, they've had more downs than ups this season, and they will turn the ball over, but Adelaide have to hang in there and hurt them the other way.
Advantage paid. Douglas to Lynch. Now Eddie's on. He didn't see him.
Missed him, and he's still spraying it.
He can't believe it.
He wants this, Eddie.
Jenkins has marked it, but the lack of cohesion amongst this Adelaide team is incredible.
Well, look, you can't say it was horrible because he did hit a target. So he's hit a target of a bloke that's kicked a couple of goals. Maybe not quite the angle that Eddie Betts would have had.
Jace. It's horrible.
Yeah, he hit a target, at least he didn't torch him completely and then burn the ball.
So Jenkins,
and if he kicks this, all will be forgiven.
Right. I'm with you there.
He's kicked 2/3 of their goals so far, Jenkins. 2 out of 3. And that's the way it remains.
Horrible torch.
That's the thing. Eddie Betts was arms waving down the middle of the corridor, and again they let Brisbane off.
It's 15 points now. Rich places it for Adcock. Scouring what's ahead in the horizon. There's nothing for him at the moment.
Well, they don't have the big bailout kick. It's going to have to go long to Jordan Burke.
And Talia
2-on-1.
and Laird between them. Well, they didn't protect each other. And this is a good exit strategy here for the Lions. Paparone. Oh, Taylor was always going to be under the pump. Wright put his body in the line of fire and got the handball up. Nice play. Can the Crows escape from there, though? That's the question. Dangerfield answers it to Wright. That's a clever kick. It creates plenty for Laird. And then Cameron. This time he has Walker in his vision. And honours that little lead. And now the captain just needs to go back and drill the goal.
Well, Harris Andrews had to leave Taylor Walker and come up to apply pressure on Cameron, who would have run inside 50 unattended. So that was a victim of circumstance.
Yeah, so that left Clark with 2 players to pick up, Walker and Jenkins.
Goalless today, and only 2 goals in the past 3 weeks, Taylor Walker.
And his one set shot today was a shocker from directly in front. Lays it to the right.
So it's 50-50 on the numbers. That's a beautiful strike. And that's much, much better for the Crows. Massive relief.
And this is what we said. The Lions will give the Adelaide Crows an opportunity. That's 3 scoring shots from their 4 entries. And here's the overlap. Andrews is at the push up, leaving Tex Walker all by himself. And again, a wave of players coming through for Adelaide. So plenty of opportunities, but just need to get the confidence in this man. He doesn't look like he's got a heap of energy at the moment, the way he's moving around. But amazing what a goal on the scoreboard for a big forward can do.
I mean, he looks like a man with the weight of the world on his shoulders, but maybe that'd be lifted by that goal.
Well, you can't blame the Premier for that one, because I think Harris Daniel Andrews has been very good on Walker today.
Out of the middle, through Crouch, inside 50. Oh, Douglas copped a bit of a belting there. Play on the call.
Not making an effort. He's hugging that ball to his chest, isn't he?
Getting numbers around it.
And that's the problem with some of those turnovers already we've seen from Brisbane in this 3rd term. You waste really good opportunities. The opposition go kick a goal. It's very deflating.
Worry with Hanley getting the work done on. Hopefully he's okay to come back in a moment. Lynch had to wait for it to settle. Smith had good knowledge of what was around him, I think. Cheney coughs it up but gets it to the line.
5-1 the inside 50s in this 3rd quarter in favour of the Crows. But Brisbane unable to get down the other end.
Yeah, they are over-possessing the ball and turning it over in this quarter. Jacobs, Robinson, Sloane, Douglas. A little wayward handball there. Tackles Robinson, who pretty much never had the football there, but it's over the line anyway and out of bounds. So Brisbane by 9 points. Lewis Taylor with 23 disposals for the day. Mitch Robinson, we saw there, has 13. Stephen Martin and Hardigan fight for the ball. Well on Hardigan. Caught one for his measure.
Actually slowed him up.
Yeah, actually, it could have been a call to play on.
I was thinking of the switch, but that's dried up now. It's down the line she goes for Hardigan. Lions have the extra numbers there, but it's the Crows that emerge with it. Sloane, Van Berlo, the former skipper. The sloppy-looking ball, well handled by Wright, but couldn't get the hands for it in any meaningful way. Beams. Again, this handball used by the Lions is keeping the Crows guessing, making it tough, maybe one too many. Had to be holding the ball, not paid by the umpire. Thompson chips it to full forward, and again you favour Jenkins. He tried to go one-handed. What's he got around him? Clark squirts it out. That could spell danger. Eddie's working this way and that. He's gone all the way outside 50. Sloane made the best of a difficult situation. Beams feeling the heat, but safely to Zorko. And they've dodged one there, and it could turn into something much more productive. Zorko takes them to half forward. Stephen Martin, it's gone over his head, gets out the back, and just slides over the line and out of bounds. How different that could have been.
Or is Sloane, looks like he's going to the bench after this one. I think he's just run into Mitch Robinson with his head.
Clash of heads there.
Yep. Maybe a little shaken. Hopefully he's okay.
Oh, Dane Zorko, classic roving of the opposition ruckman, and really makes it sting. And look at the energy in this Lions team.
Zorko's first goal, and probably on track for his best game so far this season. He's an absolute live wire. He's just come out flying after half-time. Had a good first half, but he's had the 4 disposals already in this 3rd term. That's a great clearance goal. Just read the ball off the hand of Jacobs. Jacobs gone short inside to the corridor, but there was space there. And Zorko hit it at full pace and snapped truly. So really important reply for the Lions.
Well, that's a really telling goal in the circumstances. Brisbane again, their handballs in this quarter. 18 handball receives to 7. And for the game, 30 more handball receives. Here's Thompson trying to barge. Muscle off Christensen. Couldn't do that to any effect. And it looks like they've regained their balance and composure here, the Lions. Going forward through Hanley, goes super short.
Too short, that one.
And the fumble, it's pretty greasy out there, as Lewis Taylor found out. Hanley gets buffeted off the ball this time. They scrap it towards the line. Mitch Robinson went for something unusual. Good defensive.
Like a bar of soap at the moment, the ball.
Lynch, there's Robinson going back again. Beasley. Time to get under the right boots. Gaining territory. Talia can go. To Crouch. Wasn't really expecting it. Adapted. Thompson. Smith. Hard to get any flow about things. Here's Taylor Walker. Comes to the footy.
Well played.
Behind again.
Well,
how good has he been?
Well, the Premier looked at the ball where Taylor Walker was purely focused on Harris Andrews. Looked at the body. Took his eyes off the ball.
It's good to see a young defender taking front position and backing himself to actually attack the footy.
Green skies it. Dangerfield. Smith. Again, they're missing the mark, whether it be by hand or foot. Hardigan. Right. Careful about the kick to Thompson. His 18th disposal takes Adelaide into the middle, into an avenue of attack. Van Berlo had to give. Dangerfield and to take on this responsibility himself. 2 bounces in the greasy conditions. It made the going difficult and they work it out. Again, it was nothing clean about it though, wasn't it? Difficult for Patrick to handle the terrain.
The other thing is he's running at absolute flat stick, and it is hard to kick efficiently when you're running at maximum speed.
We always found it hard running flat out through the middle of the ground, didn't we, Jace? At that sort of pace.
Found it hard kicking doing half-paced training drills.
So Cameron, his turn to step to the line. A big kick coming up. And convincing one. So the Crows are definitely playing better. Kick 2 last week against Hawthorn, Charlie Cameron. And that's goal number 12 for the year for the 20-year-old.
This is what you want to see from Patrick Dangerfield, just taking on the opposition, running hard. It was a rushed kick after that last bounce on the left slipper, but hit the target and they converted their opportunity. Rory Sloan.
That's not good.
So there's big news right down here. Rory Sloan has been subbed out. Ellis Yeoman in. They're just looking at his jaw at the moment, whether it's a bit of a break there or he's got a little bit of concussion with that head knock that we saw a little bit earlier. So that's massive, massive news for the Adelaide Crows.
You'd think if it was a head knock, they'd be off doing the concussion test.
Spot on, hello.
Taking the 20 minutes. So
that is a concern.
It's a real worry, not just for today, but in the longer term. Douglas got the leverage on the left. Well read by McKay, but he might have infringed.
Yeah, he's pushed me back there. And just back on the Sloan one, if you're 98% sure, you'd take the concussion 20 minutes. So they are certain there's an injury outside. Well, there is a significant injury there, so he's out of the game.
Well, what if they're 100% sure that he did suffer a concussion? You may as well just make the sub straight away.
Well, that's, if you're 100% sure, but it's an interesting one. Hopefully it's not a jaw.
Yeah, well, we hope that's not the case.
Well, Christensen collecting the advantage and trying to multiply it with a little kick for Hanley.
It was a terrible kick from Christensen. Terrible kick.
A little over-eager, perhaps.
Gets a chance to make up for it.
Yeah, inside 50.
Had a very quiet first half, and he's only had the 10 possessions, but he gets a chance to kick an important goal here to answer, because Adelaide have kicked a couple of early ones. They're coming at the lines. They need to continue to keep the scoreboard ticking over.
So 3 touches in this third term. As we see, he's been able to average similar numbers to last year, around about his 20-21 disposals per game, and still kick a goal a game, but really he's still battling to find his best. That'll help. That's right on line. They're back to 15 in front again.
thing I do like, Lynchy, is, and we saw it after the Zorgo goal, we saw it after that goal there, there's a lot of feeling amongst this Brisbane group. They've set themselves to this one. They know they're in the contest. They believe they can win. And the enthusiasm they're generating is first class.
Yeah, spot on. The enthusiasm amongst the young players. They've got opportunities probably a year or two before they would expect, but they're very enthusiastic. I just love the way that some of the leaders, and certainly Zorko is one of those, are up and running.
They've suffered 6 losses over 50 points this year. Went down by 72 points last week to the Bulldogs. Just the 2 wins, so this is an opportunity they do not want to give up, the Brisbane Lions. Martin back in the ruck with the tap, contested strongly. Look at the follow-up. That's what makes him such an important player. And unfortunately, he can only come up with a minor, but gee, it's an advantage to have a ruckman that can do that. Jacobs resting away from the main action on the bench, in fact. Stephen Martin in the ruck couldn't capitalise. His athleticism was there for all to see. Brown. Oh, nothing kick. Tough for Dangerfield.
Yeah, what Dangerfield did was clever. He turned himself in the air.
Alice Yeoman. So he's the sub that's come on and got his chance, and he did well then. Sheeny back to the wing. Martin, they're lining up again. Reload. Christensen looks into the 50. He had Adcock more centrally than the eventual choice, which was Burke.
He's been collected a few times, Mitch Robinson.
He's just got one of those heads, Mitch. He just seems to get it in the wrong or right spot. Now he's come charging in there.
And Daniel Talia is working body on body with his opponent, and he's half pushed into it. What other option does Talia have there?
Well, I just think that's probably the change of interpretation, where probably Mitch gave up his rights there to get high contact, because he has come charging in with that head. But he would certainly take that.
Love his curries, though. Yeah. Love the way he attacks it.
And for all Adelaide's improved efforts in this third quarter, Brisbane have been able to extend their advantage as Mitch Robinson threads it through.
Their rotations through the midfield are just outworking Adelaide Crows, and they're using the ball a lot better. Beams is Robinson is a contributor. See, he comes in with the head there. He's getting a hard one.
Talia is getting pulled into him because the left hand of Burke has his jumper at the back, and he's actually pulling him into it.
And I think that's a harsh call on Daniel Talia. Certainly Robinson came in, didn't turn his body to protect his head.
A somewhat controversial call produces another goal to Brisbane. 3 goals to 2 for the quarter. This is hard viewing, I'm sure, for Adelaide fans right now. But good stuff for the Brisbane Lions.
Yeah, not good news. Pierce Hanley subbed out of the game, so there will be interesting from Cam Mooney to see what the injury report is there.
Alice Yeoman got some help from Crouch, and then Jacobs with a big torpy inside 50. They climb all over the top of Jenkins. Look at the ground crew. It's all Brisbane. Nothing there at all for the Crows this time. And they're away. Clark banged it up in the middle. Leuenberger.
He's got to switch it. He's got numbers.
He's had Lewis Taylor scooting through centre-half forward. Ignores him. Still loath to kick it. Oh, he went short at the end. Execution.
He wanted the short lead up, and McStay came and then thought he wasn't going to get it, so he eased off, and in the end it's just a straight turnover.
Dangerfield led, unconvincing by the Crows, but better with Alice Yeoman to centre-half forward. Now Taylor on a good day, it'll almost be a sniff from here. He's a massive kick. He decides to just pass it, and it was a good kick to advantage, but no mark to Jerker Jenkins. He's up and about though. Jenkins gets the handball back to a fumbling Lynch. It's greasy, as we said, and Alice Yeoman finds that out too, but he slides through. Did all the great work. Now Lynch gets a second crack at it. Not a bad one either. Just misses.
Gee, the Zorko smother was good, and then he was up putting pressure on the Lynch kick.
Zorko up to 20 disposals. His work rate's been right up there.
Rich to himself, so he gets his 18th disposal recorded. Much better after only 12 last week. Great sign here for Brisbane. Leuenberger starting to jag some marks around the ground. Christensen, one way go back. Paparone, can't get out of dodge just yet. Eddie Betts goes to work. intent on sharing the love, and he finds Taylor Walker.
They're their own worst enemy at the moment, the Lions. Their endeavour's terrific, but some decision-making and skill errors are just giving Adelaide opportunities to get back into the game.
Well, their game plan is clear. They've put their extra number back and they're trying to overlap run and short kicks, and that's what I think Matty Leuenberger was guilty of, following the game plan to the letter instead of playing the game as it panned out in front of him. So that's cost them another shot at goal from Big Tex Walker.
So just the one goal, as we said, 1 goal too, but maybe the confidence has returned after that last kick. Is it holding? No. The fans had the big target up behind the goals, but it didn't help.
His chances 2-4 to 3-1 in this quarter. So again, the kicking accuracy has been a major issue. They've tidied up their disposal by foot in this term. They're up to 73%, but they're just not getting reward through the big sticks.
Rich with a driving kick. Climbs over Jacobs' head. Here's Ellis Yeoman. He's given them a bit of energy since he's come onto the ground. All chipped up out wide by Brown for Cameron. He's still beyond kicking range, as you can see. About 65 out. Just tried to ease it into the pocket. There was always a chance there for Andrews to get across.
You see the signal there from Jenkins. Get it up in the air, get it up in the air, and then jump at it.
That's right. He was 5 metres short, really. He had to be elevated, sat on the head of Harris Andrews.
Jenkins with 2 goals. Grabbed out of the ruck by Jacobs. Hewitt was on the spot. It might be a dangerous kick, though.
In danger.
Yep.
It's Buick.
Yep.
Argues the point, but again, they need to make the most of this opportunity. Their 7th shot at goal for the term. Inside 50s, 12-7. So 12 inside 50s for 2 goals.
So Crouch hasn't kicked a goal this year. Only 4 in his career. Starts that well with the right. This is just a nightmare for Adelaide fans.
It just becomes energy sapping for the players as well. You continually put the ball in, missed opportunities, and as we saw a couple of minutes ago, the Lions rebound and kick a goal.
I reckon both coaches would be experiencing some serious frustration in the box at different stages of this match.
Still waiting for their masterpiece, I think, for a while at the moment.
Well, all the paint's currently been smashed onto the canvas.
Here is Justin Leppich, your old teammate, Lynchy.
Yeah, he'll be pleased with the many aspects of the game so far. Their game plan, I think, has been executed pretty well. They've used the ball short. They've won a majority of contested possessions. Starting to slip a little bit of late, the contested ball, and that's seen Adelaide get back into the game. But thankfully, from a Lions point of view, Adelaide haven't been able to capitalise.
This quarter, Christensen's had 6 for Brisbane. Lynch and Crouch 6 each for the Adelaide Crows. This means Zorko another 4 disposals and a really important goal.
Unassuming type, Matt Crouch, isn't he? He's up to 22 possessions, the most for the Crows, but you barely notice him at times.
Price was just above the knee in Henry.
Just lower hamstring.
Let's hope it's just tightness or something along those lines, and they're being very cautious. Do we need the commentary?
Lewis Taylor.
So that should be a free kick against Lewis Taylor. You're tackling a player by the jumper, and he hasn't got the ball. You're swinging him around. Play a free kick. Stop players doing it.
Lots of arm waving going on out there.
Yeah, Lewis Taylor just setting up the defensive sweepers from this contest. So there's a line of 3 Brisbane players ready to run in a wave forward if they gain possession.
Which they do. Beams just eased it into the 50, but it was a bit of a wasteful kick.
Well, he didn't know what to do. He thought he was too far out to kick the goal. He didn't have an option, so he tried to chip it where there would be a contest, but it was just to the wrong side of that contest for Leuenberger.
There's a beautifully placed kick on the way out from Brodie Smith, and And now the driving ball from McKay to half forward. Walker looming again. Didn't mark it, didn't have to, but he does need to find the kicking boot. He's lost their boots, the Crows. They're straight ones. And that's another behind 5-12.
Interesting watching Harris Andrews, the way he plays Tex Walker. He often plays from 5 metres in front and from the side, and he's not interested in body on body, is he?
Which is probably a wise choice, but he's athletically, he's got it over Walker at the moment, who looks like he's still struggling with that corky from last week.
Can't believe it, Steph Martin. It looked a good one-on-one contested mark.
He jabs it short, and Taylor, Thompson, I should say, stands up and takes the mark.
Can he find the straight kick with Adelaide there?
He's always been a handy goal kicker, hasn't he, for a midfielder? He's kicked 150 goals over that, 154, in fact, in his huge career, 274 games. So always been good for a bit more than half a goal a game.
Someone needs to stand up for Adelaide at the moment. They must make the most of these opportunities before three-quarter time. The game's going to slip away.
Well, the time is right now. The margin is 18. Good effort from Thompson. Hits the post.
Can't buy one.
They're finding a way to stay out of this game. Steph Martin, as you said, Jace, was a bit confused about the free kick earlier.
Back to 17 points. They've kicked 2 goals, 7 to 3-1 this quarter. Oh, not 15. Can Rich? Yes, he can. Just. Paparone.
Well, they keep taking it on. You've got to like that.
Yeah. There was Taylor. The flow on was good. And now McStay, the ripple effect down the ground, shocking kick.
Good contest.
Really good from Beams. Just willed himself onto the ball, but they sort themselves out eventually, the Crows. Thompson was blindsided by the Berwick tackle. Brilliant stuff. Opens up now. Beasley goes short. Can they utilise a great give from Adcock? Stephen Martin scrambles one to fall forward. Free kick. Hardigan was just grappling around. He's given the free away.
What a time, because it was the greatest scrubber kick you've ever seen from Steph Martin.
It just barely hit his foot.
Just trying to get him to look at the replay.
It doesn't often help.
Josh Green kept poking the bear too, didn't he? He was in the face of Hardigan, patting him on the head.
So Leuenberger, a heartbreaker for the Crows. That's how you do it, right through the middle.
It's an important contest, and when going long into the forward line, we see Leuenberger isolated deep. Dirty old scud from Steph Martin. He's holding his head in his hands, thinking, what's going on there? So a real bonus for Leuenberger, who's had to do an important role in the ruck. Now, this is where the Adelaide Crows are really vulnerable deep. They're ranked 17 in the competition for losing those one-on-one contests 31.2% of the time. Right down there, ranked 17. Brisbane are 18, but not a good result. Yeah, not a good result, that one. Defensive vulnerability, ranked 17 Adelaide Crows. Brisbane are 18, but one-on-one, you can expose both these teams. It is a concern for the Adelaide Crows moving forward if they're going to contend later in the season.
Right now, later in the season, is looking a long way away in terms of contention, because they're getting belted at the important moments. They can't kick straight, and they can't restrain Brisbane, who are moving forward again. And Redden puts it on the chest of McStay.
It's been a quiet, very quiet day for Daniel McStay, but he gets an opportunity here. You only have to contribute, find ways to get involved in the game, and if you only get a few kicks, he kicks a couple of goals. It's very important in the context of the match. It's not a particularly high-scoring game, but these are the ones that are so critical. Directly in front, 40 out. Just got to be kicking these.
Again, Christensen, Zorko getting involved. Redden, bit of experience, hit the target.
Good kick on the left foot, isn't it?
McStay off a couple of steps. It's a bit of a Crows disease.
Let's go down to Cam Mooney. I think he's got some information on Pierce Hanley, Moons.
Yeah, Jace, the word is from the football club at the moment that he's just a bit of a tight left hamstring, and they're just being precautionary with it, so they just do want to push it to the limit. Obviously coming back from some serious injuries this year, so at the moment looks okay, but unfortunately obviously not out for the rest of the game.
Probably as good as you could hope for, isn't it?
Yeah, I think so. And his third game back this season.
Dangerfield to Crouch, and they are out. They've got some numbers. Sits okay, accommodates Jenkins, who's bouncing down. Now Lynch has got deep inside 50. They can find a connection to him. They can't.
Gee, that was horrible too, because they had extra numbers, just had to think their way through it.
I'm not sure where that kick was actually going to go if it was executed well. So no, they're just still really struggling to find any sort of continuity in the way they move the ball from back to the forward line.
40 seconds. Is that high on Christensen? No.
He'll be 50 away if it gives him a strike.
Well, if he ducked into it, he would not then be holding the ball.
Yeah, that's the holding the ball decision, I think. Well, what he's done, he's rolled the arm up.
Yeah, it's
from Geelong pre-season over the years.
It's so difficult for the umpires to get it right every time.
Oh, absolutely. And if in
whether
that sort of
players are
depth,
shrugging or ducking or dropping a little at the knees, there's so many different things they can do.
yeah.
They've got a split second to interpret it, the umpires.
Right there, Patrick.
There's a signal. Dane Zorko holding it up. What does that mean?
It means I've got the ball.
Maybe a little bit of me time on the camera.
maybe he wants to be an umpire. Dane Beams knows what it means.
I suspect it means we're in the dying seconds of the quarter. Let's just slow it down. No risks.
Don't get
Play
scored
percentages. Exactly. No more conceding.
Well, it's job done, isn't it, for Brisbane in that third quarter? They were considerably aided by Adelaide's kicking a goal. 2 goals 7 for the quarter compared to 4 goals 2. And at the end of it, Brisbane find themselves 4 goals in front here at three-quarter time at the final turn. Can they do it, the Crows? This is the sort of match, if they want to play finals, that they have to win. Brisbane, they were going to make it very, very difficult. A 4-goal advantage. 2 stars out for the game. No Sloan, no Hanley. Phil Walsh, he'll need a masterpiece of a speech at three-quarter time to get them up from here.
For Adelaide, they need to get some run. They have to score, impact the scoreboard in this quarter if they're going to be any chance, the Adelaide Crows.
Oh, we've had some exciting final terms at the Gabba over the years. This could be another one. 24 points is the margin. The home side in front. They'll be hoping it's not exciting at all. They want to go on and have a big win. Leuenberger, a tap down to Robinson. This is a fine start. Depth on the kick. It was taken out a little bit wide, and Burke had to fight against 2 or 3 Crows.
Great clearance from Mitch Robinson, because he started that stoppage, that centre square stoppage, standing toe-to-toe with Paddy Dangerfield. He rolls on to Scott Thompson now, but he beat Dangerfield for that ball out of the centre. Important win.
7 clearances, Mitch Robinson. Dane Beams, another recruit with 25 disposals, the most on the ground. Here's Robinson again. Almost the mark to McStay, keeping his feet Cheney.
Oh, it's a race.
Well, he's angled the kick out, scrapping hard. Rich, Cameron comes back at him. Thrust and parry of it all. Well done off the ground. Buick wide of the mark, but
good pick-up. Good pick-up.
Yeah, he's a good player, Rowan Buick. In the other side at stages last year, then was moved up onto the wing, racked up some big disposals, and of late looks like he's a really important player through the midfield.
Can take a big mark too.
Yeah,
Exciting, got the good lead.
hang.
Well, it's a delicate operation for the Crows' defence. Walker, good combat. Lynch, time to adjust the ball, which he did really well for Douglas. Some uncertainty, but he's again set a task for these two. Cameron and Rich. Rich and Cameron, he just had to see him off. He couldn't, but he got it to Jenkins, who... Oh, no! Another one goes begging.
They absolutely butchered that. The Lynch pass was actually a lucky one, because that was a dirty old floater, but the fact that even Cameron's handball is under pressure, sure, but it had to be out in front.
Yeah.
So Jenkins could just run to the goal line and kick it. Really poor play there from a number of Adelaide players.
Got a feeling Jason might have been scribbling down exactly when the dribble kick took place.
Interesting choice of kick is all I'll say, but they don't deserve to win this the way they've kicked the footy, the Adelaide Crows.
Well, it should have been a toe off the line. I'm still very sure from Cameron's handball had to go straight to the goal line.
Still should have kicked it, Jenkins. It's just it's a simple snap around the corner, but he took too many steps and then wanted to kick a dribble kick.
Mitch! Sam! Just be careful stepping into the metre.
Let's get into a dangerous stage of the game now, because things are just starting to really go against Adelaide.
Dangerfield was the third up. Nicely done. Got it away to Thompson, and they get inside 50. Again, Eddie Betts is threatening more than anything. This time he got through. Well done, Eddie. Able to hand it off. And the goal eventually kicked by Wright. Not the only way to do it, Lynch. He kicked them from about 40 centimetres out.
Well, and that's exactly what should have happened in the last play. But we've seen this building for like 2.5 quarters. You just feel that a weight of numbers deep in the forward line. Adelaide are going to get the ball through and make the most of their opportunities. In the third quarter, they certainly didn't with 2 goals 7. Eddie Betts hasn't had a massive game by any stretch of the imagination. Had the composure just to hit the handball straight to right, and he couldn't miss from that close.
Eddie's been the best scorer assister in the competition over the last 7 years by a long way.
Good vision, and just it came as a result of a fumble from Harris, Daniel Andrews.
Is that the circuit breaker for the Crows? Not by the look of this. Beams comes out with confidence, sends him inside 50 to a 1-on-1 battle. Cheney saw off McStay, but the ball up for grabs. Into Patrick Dangerfield with a handball to Thompson. Spinning move was good, but he had no mates around him. And it's there. The duck. Play on. That's got to be holding the ball now if he's ducked into that. Oh, not paid.
Did he duck, or was it just picking the ball up?
So a duck, not a drive. So he's saying it doesn't count immediately as the prior opportunity, but
I'm not sure what the rule is, but I actually don't mind the decision.
yeah.
But if you're calling it a duck, that's your prior opportunity, so why does it then get pinged?
That's right, but I think that was the right outcome.
I agree. I agree. I don't think he ducked.
That's gone. You want to get it off quickly. And Burlow to Thompson to McKay. Building blocks in place. Long kick. Jenkins. Bit of body. And the mark. Oh, he plays on. Gives it to Eddie. And this is the only way they're going to not miss. No kicks for goal from anything outside a metre.
Well, they're going to give you a chance. And Brisbane will give you a chance. They've given you Adelaide a chance all night. They haven't been able to capitalise on that occasion. You just get pretty nervous when Mark, 35 metres out from goal. Good work from Jenkins to get rid of Clark, then plays on himself. I think once he realised he was in trouble, he had to give off the handball.
2-on-2, but unfortunately it was Clark that stopped, so Harwood had to chase Jenkins, and that left his man free.
All right, the plot thickens now. A couple of goals. They're starting to get on top. Brisbane is still winning it out of the middle, which is interesting. There's the contested numbers in this quarter.
That's the concern, though. That's where Brisbane have massive problems in recent times, is contested possessions. They're well down.
Sorry, Lindsay, almost threw it to Crouch.
As we said, win contested possessions, it gives the opportunity for Zorko and Taylor and Rich to get the ball on the outside. If you're not getting first possession, your quick men aren't going to get the ball.
Adelaide have been inside 50 10 more times. Still 11 points down. Beams fighting, carrying a big load for the Brisbane Lions out of the middle. And he's doing a great job. Stephen Martin was able to dismiss a few on the way. Kelly and Christensen. Kelly came late at the ball but did it really well. McKay lends a hand. He's gone for a bit on the kick. It's perfect. Alice Yeoman strolls away. Not always the best kick, but that is excellent. Well,
spoke too soon.
Yeah, I did.
It was a metre too high, wasn't it? Had Dangerfield on in the middle too if he wanted to go there.
Dangerfield just 16 disposals. I'm sure love to have a huge last quarter.
They've crept up to 54% by foot, whereas most of the first half they were at 40, 45. So they're starting to creep in the right direction, Adelaide.
Douglas got his hands free. Alice Yeoman, and that's a good execution. Just a low kick into Taylor Walker, who's a little pensive as he looks around going, anyone to pass to?
Well, that's right, and that's why he's looked all night. He's not this. I mean, at his best, he struts around. He's full of energy. He demands the ball and goes back and wants to have these shots. He just hasn't had the confidence tonight.
1 goal 4, so that 36% probability's probably dropped about 15%, hasn't it? The way he's striking it.
Well, it'll be a big kick this one for the Crows. It's a chance, but it's not quite going to be there. Another miss for Adelaide. 7:15:57. It's down to 10. I think we're headed for another grandstand finish. That's not a good kick. And Walker might just shepherd that one. Oh, it doesn't go. He wants it to go over the line.
It bounced into him.
He tried his best there. The intentions were correct. But in the end, it was a Good kick from Harwood, but I'm not sure what the idea was.
Christensen's loose here if it goes to the front, but instead it goes closer to goal. And Scott Thompson can get things organised. He goes for home and he's got it! He's landed it!
Oh, we need to have a look at the goal line here because that should have been touched.
Well, I think there's two issues. The stoppage where Brisbane had no defensive sweepers, so Scotty Thompson just walked out of that pack in space. I think it was Louis Taylor who was running away from the contest. So he runs into space here. Taylor goes with his man. And then on the goal line, as you said, Jace, you must make a contest. Throw your body up there, get a fist on it. But Aish couldn't. And that is a really important goal. Team lifting goal.
Charlie Cameron did well, but they want their time again, wouldn't they? The Brisbane defence.
3 goals this quarter to the Crows, all from stoppages.
Robinson's back on.
That means Scott Thompson, 10 clearances tonight. Suddenly, the complexion of this game has changed completely. You can see it in the Brisbane faces. They need to do something, and they need to do it now. Their lead has eroded before their very eyes. It's down to 4 points.
You've just seen Adelaide actually working the ball forward really well by foot. They're at 60%, which is well above what they've been executing so far in the game. This quarter has been a class above what we've seen so far.
Smart by Brown, collected though by Green, and off to Rich, back to the middle. And up for grabs.
Good pace.
Yeah, good pace, gets himself into the clear. Cutler was started as the sub.
Not good left foot.
Taylor desperate to handball. Made it a bit difficult for Laird, but made it good through the middle with Brown. And then to Thompson to centre half. Would ask a lot of Charlie Cameron, but he's happy to oblige. And quickly to his feet. The Crows suddenly eager. They want the ball. Ace, though, standing in their way. It was a bit too much. Bitten off by Charlie. So Ace camped in the back pocket. Looking for offers desperately. Redden flies. Commanding performance in the air. Takes the mark with Talia bearing down. Talia's man, McStay, goes back to the wing to try and be the next link.
Not enough options. I don't know if they're getting tired, but not a lot of lines working.
Redden. That's a good kick. And there is McStay. It was all a bit easy, really.
They'll be forced to do the same thing, most probably. Long down to Leuenberger. He's got to push towards the
He's got to come up, and he's calling him up. He wants Leuenberger to come up.
He has to push. Now the same. Leuenberger's at the right length now.
Oh, Robinson gets one away from Laird. Gets it deep. The third up will come for the Crows, and it's Lynch. Well done. Plays an important role. Oh, it's a dodgy old kick. And Thompson did pretty well because Robinson was looking likely to take the mark.
The problem with going that second kick to Leuenberger is there was another 15 seconds that transpired and allowed the defence to get back into his space. So
everyone knew what was happening.
Yeah, absolutely. So disposals, Beams leading the way on the ground. Thompson with 25.
Oh, great pick up
from Robinson. Taylor fires away with the left, but never really looked like that.
Gee, a couple of his clearances have been outstanding. Mitch Robinson, that pick up and weaves through traffic there to deliver the hand pass. They're using him in short bursts, trying to keep his maximum effectiveness on ball.
Crowd of 18,000 here at the Gabba. Brown comes away, back to the wing. Jacobs was concerned where Leuenberger was. It's all Brisbane at the back. Wealth of numbers again. They sort it out by hand. Robinson, he's the hot man at the moment for Brisbane, but they're being pushed back here all the way. Back to half back. This is Beasley.
I don't mind this.
As long as they're controlling the footy.
Well covered on the far side by Adelaide.
Up to the wing. Great leap, McStay. Used his natural attributes there.
One of the real positives for Brisbane this year, McStay.
Christensen. Kelly watching. So the momentum's just for a little bit swung back to Brisbane.
Can they deliver a ball inside 50 to a target, though?
Look, yeah, once they have to kick the targets, that's tough for them.
Asking a lot of Josh Green in the air. Alice Sheldon had him covered for centimetres.
First half of the season, the first half of what we've already seen, Josh Green was the #1 target inside 50. He's not the player you want to be kicking the ball to. He's got to be the one running in a wave to support, get the handball received.
Deep inside 50. Crouch had some problems. Close to the line. Haven't killed it yet, the Adelaide Crows. Now they might turn defence into attack smartly. Alice Yeoman, rolled the dice with the kick. Paparone.
Switch it.
He can, because lots of teammates out there. Rich will turn on it. No, he didn't turn on the left. He kept going with the angle out wide. Lewis Taylor. And Adcock.
This has been the difficult kick for them. The one that goes inside 50 in this fourth quarter. Adelaide getting a heap of numbers back.
They need to chip it around the 50 with patience, I would have thought.
High ball. Jacobs gets back and almost drags it down. Not quite. Hardigan to Kelly. Inch by inch. They get out of there. Right. Poor kick out of the wing.
Need to switch.
He had to hit that kick. Had to kick it into the corridor.
Instead, it's a cautious approach.
So there's no rush here. They need to, if they get the opportunity, chip it around, work the ball forward slowly.
See the frustration building there for Louis Taylor. Pops it up. It's going to go close to the boundary line. And Cheney making sure it goes over.
A bit sore and sorry after another big leap in a pack there, McStay. He landed heavily, and there's a silly free kick to give away.
Just takes the pressure off. Absolutely not necessary. Justin Lapich would be furious.
Just releases the pressure valve, doesn't it?
Well, you've got a forward 50 stoppage. Opposition under the pump. Hand on the ball.
It's all careful stuff on the way out.
Oh, we want to hit this.
Okay, does. Back for Brown. Where to next?
Scotty Thompson up the line.
Yeah, waddling across half back. And he's losing his feet. Goes to ground. There's lines everywhere inside 50. It's a matter of hitting one. And Harris Andrews goes very wide for Stephen Martin. Well, he's got someone inside 50. Barely.
Just. He'll take a special kick from there.
1 metre, Stephen. That's the one. Up here.
I would have thought just outside his range. He's going to swing around onto the right slipper, which is always a bit risky. Could drag it well left.
So the probability, 1 in 4 chance, according to the numbers.
Nobody on the goal line. Absolutely nobody. Leuenberger running down to get there.
He's going to arrive on the scene. Oh!
McStay had it.
And he hatched that. He had a big chunk of it.
Frustrating for him.
That just made the coach a lot happier in the box. He throws himself at the contest, that's for sure. Had a clear leap. Rarely as a key forward you get a clear run at a pack.
Well, his timing was impeccable, really, wasn't
Down
it?
the middle.
And they're having a crack here, the Crows. If it can creep through. No chance, but...
Gee, you can imagine from a Crows defensive point of view that they'd be annoyed that McStay had a 10-metre run-up to throw himself at that contest. Should have been taken. They should have conceded the goal. A defensive lapse.
Brisbane with a couple back off the back of this stoppage. If it's a hurried kick forward Adelaide's way. Instead it's going out Brisbane's way anyway. Beams, searching ball, couple of one-on-ones. Crows, if it hits the ground, are on. It does hit the ground. Laird was there, but can't move away with it with any cleanness, and it's straight back over the line and out of bounds.
Put it up a bit short, Rory Laird. I think it was a bit of cramp.
We just saw that last stoppage again. Dane Beams got the clearance, but it was Mitch Robinson jumped third up to clear the contest and put it out in front of Beams.
Beams with 28 disposals. Brisbane trying to lock it in and build on this 6-point advantage. There's a fair bit going on off the ball there. Bit of hanging on to some Guernseys. Thompson a little handball, a little sneaky stuff in tight. Is there a way out for Dangerfield? Again to Thompson. Couldn't restrain him the first time, but did the second.
Has to be ball.
And is. Redden. Jack Redden. One of their tough nuts. Coming up with the footy for his hard labour. About to send them inside. McStay will try and make a run at the ball. It's not going to reach him more. Martin was a chance. McStay with the paddle. Danger still exists on the ground, but here's McKay to a one-on-one. Andrews. Well done from Josh Jenkins. Breaks even and gets it over the line.
Here's the tackle. Thompson gets one and then goes for the second opportunity and gets caught really well from Redden. Great contest from Jenkins on that occasion. It was a 2-on-1 contest. Just had to get the ball over the line.
Ball back into play. Goes Adelaide's way. Cameron scoots it to half forward. Oh, that's where it ends.
Switches on now. Trouble is, the next option doesn't exist.
Beasley got the short pass, but as you said, Jace, where to next?
Oh, that had to be a spot-on kick.
Hey, this is where Adelaide need to hold the ball in the forward half. Get their defensive structures in place.
Just no movement from the Lions.
They're out on their feet, I think, now, the young forwards.
Not a bad kick, no mark. Right, scrambles and gets it to Dangerfield. Big kick for Paddy. He just chipped it into Eddie Betts. And this to level the scores. It won't be an easy shot. Eddie usually likes them a bit closer to the boundary and a bit closer to goal.
They will continue to give you a chance, Brisbane. Adelaide have to hang in there, keep their pressure up, their defensive pressure up, or when the ball's in dispute, they'll get chances.
So Eddie Betts to level the scores here at the Gabba. Gives himself a shot at it and hits the target with style, Eddie. It's taken a long time, but scores a level.
Well, I think they have turned things around. 4 goals to 2 points, and it's Brisbane that's had a majority of the inside 50s. Adelaide ahead on disposals. Nicely weighted kick from Dangerfield just to put it in front of Eddie Betts. And if you're talking pockets, that's probably the easiest one. Not that he was on the boundary, but it was the easiest pocket, the most shallow pocket in front of the players' race. And he slotted that one through beautifully. So experience for the Adelaide Crows starting to step up.
They have not been in front all day, Adelaide, and they're still not. But it's taken them 3.5 quarters to get back on level terms with the Brisbane Lions, who kicked the first 4 goals of this game, and now it is well and truly game on. Uncontestable, determined by the umpire.
Again, contested possession is just continuing to flow Adelaide's way.
And here's Patrick Dangerfield with time and space on his side, a rare commodity. Delivers under the chest, and look at Taylor Walker. He thinks he can kick this.
He'll take his time now.
That's more like Taylor, isn't it?
That's right. Take the chest mark, be absolute certain. Don't look around for a handball inside. Go back, and you know he can kick 55 metres, so pin the ears back and put one straight through from 55.
1-5. It's not great for the confidence when you've got that next to your name.
No.
But he is the captain, and it's time for the captain to step forward and bomb one. He's done it. Timing is everything.
That is a great kick, but spot on, Hutto. When he took the chest mark, he just had nothing else in his mind at all that he was going to kick the goal. And here's Patrick Dangerfield, good clearance, but straightened up, had the composure to hit that 30-metre pass. And then from the time he took the ball, he goes back and thinks, I'm going to just smash this through from 55, and did it beautifully. Probably only had a metre up his sleeve. And I think Justin Clark was pleading with the goal umpire that maybe he got a finger on it, but very hard to call that one. Looks pretty animated there, Big Tex. Pretty happy with his work as a chat to the coach.
2 goals, 5. Could have been a big night for Taylor Walker.
Well, still could be if they can get over the line. They're in front for the first time. A fumble. Now it's up to the Lions to try and hit back the other way. Rory Laird. He can go for the boundary line. Maybe a teammate. Charlie Cameron sneaks onto the scene. Jacobs, a fumble from Cameron. But they've got the numbers. They're making the running at the moment. It's over the line and out of bounds. So the Brisbane crowd quietened by what they've seen. The amazing last quarter here from the Adelaide Crows. Beams goes to ground. They're still having a crack. Redden digs it out. Stephen Martin. Open spaces. Nervous defenders. Talia, he was taking no chances. McStay in pursuit, and Talia does the defender's thing and finds the line. We're down to 6 minutes 17, and everyone's feeling it around the Gabba.
Optimistic call from the Lions fans for a deliberate out of bounds. But I want to see Green on the move. Zorko on the move at this stoppage.
Leuenberger got it down. Redden, here is Zorko. Played such a big game. He was short. Beams fired out the handball. Cutler starters, the sub absorbs all the tackle, the pressure. Has he given the umpire anything? The umpire said, no, it's okay by me.
Oh, they'll be disappointed. Zorko and Beams, two experienced players, two of their more skillful players. Poor kick, poor hand pass.
Tom! 1 metre. Don't retaliate, that's all.
Plenty going on. Jacobs, Douglas, Redden. Head down, Zorko. No free kick either way yet. Now it will be. Brown, he's such a reliable man. Always takes the dangerous small forward. He's a popular man in the Adelaide camp for his tireless work. Now he needs to be sure with the ball, and he gets it safely to Brodie Smith.
They've been much better in this term with hitting their targets, up to 63% by foot. They've been nowhere near that number for the early part of the game.
Nice kick to Lynch.
No one went with Lynch. Yeah. They're out on their feet, the Lions.
It does appear that way, doesn't it?
There's just no legs.
Alice Yeoman, he eases the kick into the pocket and hooked in by Jenkins. He wanted to play on again there.
He was just stumbling forward, wasn't he? Needs to look in. Lynch is calling.
Where you are? No closer.
So 5 minutes still remaining in this game.
Stay with me. 15 seconds, Josh.
5 unanswered goals in the quarter. That won't be another one, at least not on its own. It's an okay result for Adelaide. Frustration for Pierce Hanley. Helpless, watching on. Brisbane need to hang tough here and find a way to get it forward. Charlie Cameron came scooting through.
Brisbane have got extra numbers at the contest, so Adelaide have got 6 players outside their forward 50 as sweepers just to stop the ball coming out.
Patrick Dangerfield steps forward. Their leaders have lifted. They needed to in this last quarter. Matt Crouch to full forward. Jenkins bets.
Van Berlo in there.
Good courage. Really good courage.
What a mark from Van Berlo. How did he manage to take it? Betts was there as well.
Well, the ball was up and under. They were coming from all directions.
Yeah, good grab.
Interesting discussion between the players.
So they thought it was holding the ball, Brisbane. Nathan Van Berlo's taken a while to really come back from his Achilles. Certainly not the prolific player he used to be, but still a role to play. Right now his role is to do what they've found so hard during the day, but not in this last quarter, and that is kick goals. And that's 6 for the quarter, Lynchy.
Yeah, huge turnaround in this quarter. They're plus 15 disposals, using the ball much better, as we said earlier, but it has been their senior player. Scotty Thompson's stood up. Dangerfield has had a pretty quiet day. He's had 5 so far in the last term. He's had a pretty tough day at the office, really. He's had 20 disposals, but there's nothing clean about his game. But great to see Van Berlo get involved on that occasion. They've used the ball forward much better, kicking 6-2 from their 10 entries. So 14 forward 50 entries to 10 in favour of Brisbane, but the reward on the scoreboard has been 6 goals 2, just at 2 points.
Still time for Brisbane. They've got to dig extremely deep and just find something that doesn't appear to be there at the moment. Thompson to Alice Yeoman, and he draws some high contact. He's been quite a good player for them since he's come on. 6 kicks. Be reasonably conservative now down the line for Dangerfield. Take a bit more time off the clock and a bit more air out of the sails of this Brisbane team, which looks like it has spent its best shot, but still time if they can conjure something. And there's an opportunity now with Rich taking the mark. It wasn't the best effort from Adelaide.
Well, I like that. He's got to try and be aggressive. He's tried to move quickly through the corridor. It's probably not going to work, but it's what they needed to do.
When Eddie's there, there's danger everywhere. He gets collected.
Free kick. to slip through, grasp for the mark, but Harris Andrews is giving a free kick away.
It wasn't really high, was it?
I don't think, to be brutally honest, I don't think there was a lot in it.
Well, I think they paid it was for frontal contact in the marking contest. Is that it? Just trying to help, Jace.
You said it really confidently, and then you just waned at the last
minute. It was because of the daggers I was getting from the big man here.
It hasn't been a big night for this man, but he's been important in the last quarter, coming in for his third goal, plus he's had a goal assist.
And that hits the post.
He jumped around in that approach, sort of ducked down to the right a little bit and then tried to correct again.
Margin 13. Dab back into play. Very wide.
You have to take some risks. You've got to try and force it through the corridor.
Oh.
That's not the corridor.
It's outside.
But he's been a good try. Mitch Robinson and their former Carlton teammates. Just a pat on the back from Eddie Betts.
Walker kicks to a one-on-one. Dangerfield there. Dangerfield's going to end up with 22 possessions, and maybe one more if he gets another touch. But as you said, Lynchy, certainly not his most influential game.
Hasn't been able to find too much space.
Scotty Thompson with 28 beams, another 30-plus game. He's looking to get another. He gets taken to the turf by Thompson. Scotty Thompson's had 10 score involvements too, so he's played a terrific game.
One step.
Jacobs. There's a couple of goes at it. Martin. There's Talia. Brings it into Smith. Will he go, or will he just be a bit more conservative? He's happy just to wait.
He can wait till Cheney runs laterally and chip it over if he wants. He's got numbers everywhere. They just want to hit some targets and hang on to the ball.
Well, he runs, and then in the end he did have to...
That was an interesting choice in there.
Yeah, he didn't really have much to go to.
Because he ran away from it.
Yeah, he did.
That was the issue.
A little bit of danger about that as well. No one on the mark. Redden. Oh, he's passed it to Eddie. Oh, just got over his head. And then Stephen Martin almost stubbed his toe.
Yeah.
They've got nothing left to give.
They shouldn't be allowed to kick short kick, folks. And there's
another example.
The number of very tired players out there at the moment. Brisbane have thrown everything at this contest, and in many ways, Justin Leppard should be proud of the way his players for the first 2.5 quarters competed, but eventually the class of Adelaide come over the top.
Rich through to Green. Fielding offers, decides to go by hand. And this is good ball movement. We've seen a lot of it tonight, but we've seen a bit of that as well, burning it at the end. They'll get a fair bit out of this, Brisbane, won't they? But in the end, Gats will still be churning about the opportunity they've given up.
Well, that's right. The game was following a similar trend to the Port Adelaide game. They weren't allowing Adelaide to play their game, and they certainly didn't make the most of their opportunities. They could have been further up, but in fairness, I mean, Adelaide Crows kicked 2-7 in that third quarter. But a lot of concerns from an Adelaide point of view. I think many of us tipped that they'd be into the 8 and competing, but not clean tonight.
No, certainly no masterpiece, but they've gone home by 13 points, the Adelaide Crows. Another unconvincing win to add to the one they had a few weeks ago against Carlton, but wins are wins, as they say, and they do continue to build and stay in the 8. Stay in the fight. Adelaide winning here, 11-16-82 to Brisbane, 10-9-69.
Well, Jace, we spoke pre-game about Adelaide's ability to hit targets by foot. It's been a major issue this year. They're ranked 17th in the competition. For the first 3 quarters, they just reinforced that low ranking of 17. They just torched the ball by foot. I think it was 47% in the first half. They started to pick that up through the third quarter and certainly finished off on a bit of a high in the last. From a Brisbane Lions point of view, their runners, very, very good. They backed themselves. They overpossessed the ball. They did turn the ball over, and in the end of the game, they got torched on the scoreboard. And I think Cameron Mooney's downstairs with one of the Crows' best.